Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Can We Talk About It? We are talking about the Bride of Charlie, Romanian Scandal. Now, we don't have exact evidence as of yet that Erika in particular was connected to any scandal, but I'm going to share with you some interesting things I found while I was doing some digging regarding Make Heaven Crowded, the tour, Greg Laurie, Romania, as well as her latest Make Heaven Crowded tour, yet another pedo protecting pastor. So I am so confused as to how one person, Erika Kirk, can have so many connections to people protecting pedos. So, what I want to do today is go through these two pastors that she's connected with, that she has used for her Make Heaven Crowded tour, talk about their pedo protecting, and you guys can make sense of all this because I'm in the Christian world, you guys. I'm not in the mega church Christian world. I'm not in the evangelical Christian world, but I don't know one pastor who has protected pedos. I don't. I don't know a single pastor. And this woman not only has herself being surrounded by pastors who protect pedos, but one of them was protecting a pastor who was touching children in Romania. Yes, touching children in Romania. So let me jog your memory if you're not familiar with who these people are. So, do you guys remember right after, shortly after Charlie Kirk's death, Erika went on a Make Heaven Crowded tour at Harvest Church in Riverside, California. The pastor of Harvest Church in Riverside, California is Greg Laurie. Greg Laurie is a pedo protecting pastor, specifically a Romanian orphanage pedo protecting pastor. And I'm going to prove that to you today. What I want you to know is that Greg Laurie has been pastor of Riverside, Harvest Church in Riverside for quite some time. And he had a pastor, a friend there named Peter Havsgaard. Peter Havsgaard was married to Lori Havsgaard. Peter, hold on one second. Let me make sure I get these names right. The Havsgaards actually had plenty of allegations against them prior to being sent to Romania by Greg Laurie. So he knew about that and chose to ignore it. Havsgaard was in Romania from 2008 to, well, longer than that. He was started in 1994, but he stayed in Romania up through the 2000s. So it would overlap with the time in which Erika was doing Romanian Angels. So I want to go through, it was Paul Havsgaard, not Peter Havsgaard. I want to go through the lawsuit with you today so you can see how Erika is connected to these people. Birds of a feather, they are tight. They are a tight lot, seek one another out for mutual access clues, protecting one another to further their own. Yep. Distraction. Do you guys remember, this is a quick tangent. Do you guys remember when I was talking to you guys about Daystar and Candace Owens posted that Erika Kirk and Daystar and Ben Shapiro and Benjamin Netanyahu were going to do some kind of piece of content together? Well, surprise, surprise, Daystar actually covered up Robert Morris's pedo addiction for years. They covered it up. They actively helped to cover it up. So yes, it's just birds of a feather. You guys are all, it's just disgusting. Okay, so let's get into this lawsuit. And this is the first of two. So to me, one is a coincidence, two is a pattern. That's just how I operate. It's too many times for me. So we're going to get into this lawsuit. And let's go. We'll start with this one. Okay. So this is plaintiff, Nitu is what we'll call him, files this complaint against Harvest Christian Fellowship or Harvest Riverside, which is Greg Laurie, Paul Hobsgard, I said Peter earlier, I was wrong, and, defendants for damages and relief. In 2000 through 2008, when plaintiff was 11 to 18 years old, he was sexually abused by defendant Paul Havsgard on many occasions. Havsgard was a pastor and an employee and or agent of Harvest Riverside, based in Riverside, California, and is arguably one of the most prolific child sex abusers alive in America today, having committed thousands of individual acts of abuse. Havsgard managed the network of orphanages / foster homes where plaintiff resided, Harvest Homes. Harvest Homes were operated, funded, and administered by Harvest Riverside, whose longtime leader and unquestioned authority is defendant Greg Laurie. Can I remind you that this is Greg Laurie, the Greg Laurie that Erika sung his praises for the Make Heaven Crowded tour? Yes. You can't tell me she didn't know that this was happening. I don't believe for 1 second that she doesn't know that this is his background. Let's continue. Wait, what happened to my remove at this stage? There we go. In the decade between 1998 and 2008, when defendants operated Harvest Homes in Romania, Havsgard savagely molested and terrorized scores of Romanian children, including plaintiff, a child in his custody and care. I'm not going to read some of this because it's disgusting, but I want to get to the part where he covers it up. At all relevant times, Harvest Riverside has been a highly successful church based in Riverside, California, with weekly services attracting up to 15,000 people. Its charismatic founder and chief pastor, Laurie, attracts national attention as an evangelist, podcaster, and the subject of a Hollywood movie about its early days, Jesus Revolution, which grossed $53 million in its first year. Havsgard was a senior pastor at Harvest Riverside and kept that position as he embarked in 1998 on a foreign mission to Romania, then the sex trafficking capital of Europe, at the direction of Harvest Riverside, Laurie, and Shoot. Okay, so then it goes on to talk about the fact that many, many, many people who living in Romania, the children, the parents, said that he was abusing children. Okay. Harvest Riverside continued to pay Havsgard's salary to list him as a pastor on its website, to fund the Harvest Homes by making large payments into his personal bank account with no proper account of his spending, and to bring Havsgard and some residents of the homes to California to raise money in the United States and to suffer Havsgard's sexual abuse in California too. You guys, do you remember in the Epstein files that Jeffrey Epstein said that he had, people from Romania? So Havsgard was bringing his abuse victims to California, Hollywood capital, entertainment capital of the world. For what exactly? Was he selling them? Where was the church getting them? It's just disgusting. It's just absolutely foul. Finally, in 2004, Havsgard abuse had become so notorious that an American missionary from another Calvary church in California, Steve Carls, heard about it and complained to Shoot in Riverside, ultimately prompting Shoot the pastor in charge of all ministry work at Harvest Riverside, and Lori's trusted lieutenant to authorize an inspection by Carl's and 2 other Calvary ministers. So then he does the inspection, and he laid out conclusive evidence that Hafsgard was sexually abusing children and misappropriating money on a shocking scale. And this man told Greg Laurie and Shoot, Paul Hafsgard needs to be on a plane with you when you leave tomorrow. He doesn't need to be another day in Romania. He needs to be gone. He is an embarrassment to every single missionary and Christian worker. Get him out of here and into counseling. And do you know what Greg Laurie, Erika's beloved pastor, said? He is a good fundraiser. We can't have him a part of those things. Firing Hafsgard would have hurt donations and possibly unleash a scandal that would hurt Laurie's reputation. These people do not care about the word of God, the blood of Jesus, or the wrath of God, apparently. They care about their reputation. They do not care about their character. These are the people that they are telling you is going to help you make heaven crowded. No, I think the place that you're making crowded is beneath the earth with this kind of behavior. So despite having proof that Hafsgard was a devious and unrelenting pedo, and despite knowing that they had provided him a perfect laboratory of desperate and vulnerable children to exploit, Harvest Riverside, Laurie and Shoot did nothing. They did not fire, suspend, withdraw, or discipline him. They didn't even report him to the authorities. They did nothing to protect the children there. Laurie instead engineered a soft landing. He let Hafsgard stay in charge, free to molest, RAPE, while Laurie slowly closed the money spigot until the Romanian homes finally withered to nothing 4 years later. For 4 years, he said, well, I don't want my reputation damaged, so I'm going to let you continue, but I'm going to turn off the spigot and we're just going to say that it closed. During this extended period, Hafsgard continued to abuse the children of the Harvest homes, both those who were already there and many new ones he was left free to recruit without any new restraints imposed by Harvest Riverside, Laurie or Shoot. Laurie even authorized a gift to Hafsgard of some $200,000 in severance as he continued in his post as if nothing had happened. Romanian authorities were told nothing. In 2009, a year after Hafsgard returned from Bucharest, Laurie called him a pastor who faithfully served the Lord for many years at Harvest Christian Fellowship, the church where I pastor. Disgusting. And even compared his work in Romania to that of Moses with the Israelites, because his life demonstrates the power that just one godly person can have. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking about when those children were like, go up thou bald head, and then the bears came out. And I'm like, you know what, Lord, you can go ahead and send some bears right now. You can go ahead and send those bears. I know there's bears in Riverside. You can go ahead and just have them come right into that man's home. May he walk outside one day and all the black bears in Southern California have a feast. Just absolutely disgusting. I don't know, but to me, it's starting to move more David Berge vibes to me. Yeah. Children of God. Exactly. It's a cult. It is a cult. And it's a cult. And why it's so deceptive, this cult that they're operating under, is because it's Calvary Church and this next pastor I'm about to tell you guys about, also on the Make Heaven Crowded tour. It's her next stop. They all protect each other and they protect the pedos for their money, for their reputation. It's disgusting. They know it's happening and they don't care. And Erika Kirk and TPUSA willingly continue to partner with these people. Just no more, like morals in the trash can. And then you wonder why people do not want to give you money and why people are digging into your past because, baby, you have no discernment. You have no discernment. The minute you found out that he was calling someone who, on paper, on record, assaulted children, and you said, oh, it's okay. He's a faithful man of God. Make heaven crowded. I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. Hold on. Since his return to California in 2008, Havsgard has continued to work at Calvary churches in California, the ones linked to Harvest Riverside, with unsupervised access to children, which defendants could have easily stopped but did not. The cover-up worked well for Lori, as Harvard graped his way through scores of children in Harvest's care, including plaintiff, and returned to a comfortable life in California. Lori grew in national prominence and wealth with a $5.5 million home in Newport Beach, a home in Hawaii, a 90,000 car, and a top-rated podcast and a Hollywood movement. Absolutely disgusting. They made money in California by using their Romanian venture to raise funds and brought children to California to raise more, where Havsgard abused them. This is sounding like Jeffrey Epstein on a milder scale. Here, you're our biggest, so we know that you're our biggest supporter, our biggest fundraiser. So we're going to supply you with endless people to murder, sorry, shouldn't say that's not, I should say psychologically damage, right? Just unbelievable, just disgusting. And this is who Erika Kirk is banking her Make Heaven Crowded tour on. This is who she's lifting up. Plaintiff was sexually abused and sexually trafficked by Havsgard in California. They were trafficking children through Harvest Church of Riverside. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. TPUSA just keeps saying, my Charlie, my Charlie, my Charlie, dreidel, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Nobody cares. Send me some more money. Okay. We're going to take a pause for a second. Baron Coleman posted this on his Twitter I keep calling it Twitter, but that's what it is. And I want to show you guys this. While she's out here, Miss Erika Kirk, while she is out here supporting the likes of Greg Laurie and our next pastor, who I'm gonna get to in just a minute, she's also sending out this. Okay. She's begging for donations. Mrs. Erika Kirk for Turning Point Action for Charlie. They're going around saying that Candace Owens is using Charlie's name for, clout, and that she's using him as a shield and this, that, and the third. No. First of all, ma'am, this is horrible as it relates to printing. Like, you do not use these two fonts together. They look awful. So fire your person, fire your print person, fire your marketing director, fire your PR person, because this is awful. The fonts are off. Like, if you wanted to do this properly, you would have had for Turning Point Action for Charlie, and for Charlie would have been in lowercase. I'm sorry, in a smaller font. This is hideous. But that's beside the point. Using for Charlie to beg for donations is disgusting. It is the epitome of emotional manipulation. The epitome of emotional manipulation. All she had to do was put Mrs. Erika Kirk and TPUSA underneath the logo. That would have been just fine. But continuing to do it for Charlie, do it for Charlie. Charlie is dead. As you pointed out, not to be morbid, but my husband's dead. Charlie is dead. Things are not being done for him. At this point, they're being done for TPUSA and probably for this nation. Charlie is rolling over in his grave at how they're using his name for money and donations. Yeah, exactly. Candace is clout chasing. This is clout chasing. Okay, I just had to do that aside. I needed to take a break from this. From this hot foolery that TPUSA is engaging in. Because what? Girl, what? Like, what are you doing? Who raised you? Who told you that this was okay? You guys are operating like some kind of, I don't even know what to say. It's just so odd. You don't have to do that. Like, to me, it's like, you don't actually have to do this. You can just put the Turning Point logo. People are, but you know what this tells me? This tells me that they are very fearful that TPUSA as it stands is not enough. They know it. They have to keep saying it's for Charlie because that's who people resonate with. They do not resonate with the current form of TPUSA as it is now. Okay, I'm done. I'm done doing my thing. Okay, so let's move on to the next pastor. Okay, let us move on to the next pastor. Okay.
Everybody, Jack Graham here with Erika.
So this is Jack Graham. This is her next Make Heaven Crowded tour. He is also a pedo protector. What do you know? What do you freaking know? He is also a pedo protector. I'm going to prove that to you today. Okay. Allegedly. So their next event is Dallas, Texas, April 29th, Prestonwood Baptist Church. I'm just going to let her and, he and Erika share the advertisement, and then we're going to talk about who he is. Yes, I believe he is related to the, no, I believe he's related to Billy Graham. I believe so. Let me just double check. I think he's like a grandson or something. Oh, no, they're not. Well, I don't know. No. Let me find out really quickly. No, I don't think so. He's not. I thought he might be. But apparently he was up on a crusade with Billy Graham, but I don't know who Okay, let's play this.
Hello, everybody. Jack Graham here with Erika Kirk, and we are at Prestonwood in our worship center thinking about anticipating a great event coming up on April the 29th. It's called Making Heaven Crowded. And you're going to speak?
Yes, and so are you.
I'm going to speak.
We're so blessed and so grateful for all of your support. And we are just thrilled that you are behind us and just really honored and excited to see what the Lord's going to do.
Yeah, these events are taking place all over the country. It's part of a Turning Point USA Faith. And our friend Lucas Miles, along with others, will be speaking. We're going to fill this house to God's glory and probably overflow it. And the goal is to unite the church in bringing people to Christ.
Amen.
Preaching the gospel, preaching truth, bringing people to Christ. And Erika, we're so grateful for you and thankful for you, the way you're leading forward. And so these events that will be taking place all over the country, you're here with our students today, making a difference. So we're grateful, and join us on April the 29th for Make Heaven Crowded.
We'll see you guys there. God bless you.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, I just have to say off top, like, this is like, it's very obvious that they didn't plan this. And I hate off the cuff advertisements like this, because it's so obvious. What she was supposed to do was say, hi, everybody, or he was supposed to say, hi, everybody, Jack Graham, I'm here with Erika Kirk with the Make Heaven Crowded tour. Erika, tell us about what this means and what we're doing. And then she would have said something, and then he would have said something. It was just it's like tacky. Like, okay. So Jack Graham, you guys know, now I'm gonna switch screens. So remember the name Jack Graham. So I'm gonna share a screen with you guys so you can see what a foul human being he is. So bear with me because this is a little bit long. Okay. SBC, which is the Southern Baptist Convention, reports highlights of Plano's Prestonwood Baptist as its example of protecting sex abusers. Okay. So this woman, one of the pastors at Prestonwood, where Jack Graham is pastor, was actually released and let go for the abuse. However, this took a long time to happen. And this woman wrote in and shared what happened with her and with Jack Graham and how he protected this pastor. So buckle in. What happened at Prestonwood Baptist Church completely devastated our family. Our entire family of 6 were all members there and practically lived at the church during the John Langworthy scandal. So John Langworthy was a pastor at Prestonwood. Jack Graham was also like a lead pastor, so he was under him. My mom was the secretary for John and Kathy Langworthy during the time. When she got hired, John offered to take my oldest brother, quote, under his wing and, quote, disciple him. I have reason to believe my oldest brother was one of John's victims. My brother spent more time with John than any other child from the youth group. He would spend the night at John's apartment, sit in the car with him for hours in front of our house during the evenings, and in the dark many times, discipling him, and even had permission to take him out of school numerous times for lunch. What in the world? You guys letting people take your children out to lunch and stay the night at their apartment? No, I would never, never. I vividly remember having a picture of John sitting in my bed with my brother, both under the covers, with his arm around him at Camp Lebanon. John spent almost every day with my brother and even helped him become a regular at Pierce High School. When news about John broke out in 1989, we had a family meeting because my mom no longer had a job. Neither John or Kathy ever contacted us to say anything, so we were all in the dark as to what really happened. My mom requested to meet with Jack Graham, desperate to find out more details and whether my brother was one of the victims. All she had heard was that there were several. I am told by my mom that she met with Jack in his office in private. She was not provided with any details or confirmation on my brother. There was no consoling her whatsoever. However, Jack did offer that PBC would pay for him to get counseling at the Meyer Clinic. My mom also asked Jack about whether he was going to warn others or report this to the new church John was going to. His words to her were, well, it's in their ball court now. So in other words, no, I'm not going to warn them that he's a pedo. She was so devastated at the cold nature of his response and lack of information that she left the meeting and went by herself to sit alone in the sanctuary to, what she tells me, is to bawl my eyes out and beg God for help. My mom did take my brother to one counseling session at Meyer Clinic, and after that, my brother refused to go back and my mom didn't want to force it. This was also during a time when seeing a psychiatrist was frowned upon in the church, and my brother didn't want people talking about him like there was something wrong with him. I know my parents did not report it to the police, trusting that the church would handle it according to scripture. My brother also denied any abuse to us, so they didn't want to make any false accusations. My brother has never been the same since and has slowly turned to alcohol and substances. As a family nurse practitioner who has treated patients in psychiatry, I believe this is a direct response to the trauma of abuse, betrayal, and injustice he endured. He has since told me that he was completely betrayed by the church and has lost any desire to attend another one since. The fact that Jack Graham did not report this to the police and did not warn others is unfathomable. It was required under family state code at the time. Yes, you are a mandated reporter as a pastor. He is fully responsible for enabling John to go on to harm more children, as we later learned he did at the church in Mississippi. He also did not care for our family in any way following such a traumatic experience. No one from the church ever reached out to pray with us, console us, or support us in any way. My family has never attended church together since. So, when I heard, this is now the reporter, when I heard that Jack Graham and Preston Wood had offered her money to her mother for counseling for her brother, that tracked with another Langworthy victim's experience. The victim's mother had shared how she discovered her son had been abused by Langworthy when Minerth Meyer Clinic called their home asking to speak with their son. Preston Wood had arranged counseling for this victim, still a minor, without notifying his parents. So these are the people. These are the people that Erika Kirk keeps aligning herself with. Greg Laurie, who had swaths of children being abused in Romania and then shipped to California to be trafficked. Yes, Greg Laurie, who protected Paul Hofsgaard while he did that. And now Jack Graham. Jack Graham, who protects pedos. I wouldn't send my kid to their therapist either. Imagine, wait a minute though. Can you just for 2 minutes? Imagine being a clinic and you keep getting paid by a church for counseling for victims of that church, and you keep functioning as a clinic without calling the authorities and saying, hey, something's wrong here because this church keeps trying to pay us for all of these children who are being victimized at their hand. They're all compliant. Sue the clinic too. Sue the clinic, because the clinic was taking the money, calling the children. God knows what they were telling them, but as a rational human being with an ounce of integrity, I would go, why does this church keep paying for these children to have counseling? Oh, perhaps because they're the ones abusing the children. I should probably look into this. But this is who Erika Kirk has on her Make Heaven Crowded tour. This is who she's hosting. She's allowing to host this tour. They don't care. It's all about the money. And I'm going to tell you guys, that I'm going to get off there, what I actually think happened with Romania. I don't know if Erika Kirk was in on it. But I believe that she was capable of turning a blind eye. I believe that she was like, well, I'm just going to send the gifts and send the presents and I'm just going to send the money and I'm just going to take care of the children, and whatever's happening over there is none of my business. That's what I would like to believe about her. I would like to believe that she doesn't know that Greg Laurie was part of trafficking children from Romania to California, allegedly, for years. I would like to believe that. I would like to believe that she doesn't know that Jack Graham is a pedo protector. But again, once is a coincidence, twice is a pattern. And as in Erika's own words, I don't believe in coincidences. So I thought I would share that with you guys today. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like this on your way out. If you guys are not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one.